would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you wanna cut a dash? Polish up the shoes, throw on something fine. We don't talk about diesels, I'm running on style this time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels gleam in the night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's a little tight, but I'm feeling brand new. Living large tonight, no budget reviews. Blues! What do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
What on earth is going on, viewers? No, it's not April Fool's Day. This is a 2001 Volvo V40 2-litre SE automatic, and it has been modified to Gangsta granny specification, as you can see. This car was used last year for a charity run. It was a car in this sort of shade of green, as you can see on the door mirror, but it's been well, modified with these gold wheels. Sills have been painted gold as well, for a run called Bangers for Ben. This car went down, I think, all the way to Spain, and it's only done 87,000 miles, which is remarkable. I had driven one of these before, and it was a similar engine and gearbox combination, but I've been offered this to have a go in, and well, I couldn't resist. It's just absolutely and utterly extraordinary. I think Lee got offered this at LSP car sales by someone after the run had been completed, and here we go. So the V40 Mark 1 was actually made from 1996 to 2004. The last one of these I drove was a 2004 with yeah, this 135 odd brake horsepower engine and a automatic gearbox. Well, the gearbox works pretty well. They're based on the same platform, these cars, as the Mitsubishi Charisma and the Proton Impian, or Wadger. Yep, got me Wadger in. And the Mitsubishi Space Star. They were built in the Netherlands at the factory that now, I can't remember if it's still open, but it was the old DAF plant, actually, where they made these. Fortunately, there's one thing they haven't changed on this car, apart from all this crochet all over it, and that is the fact that we have a beige leather interior with wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. I'm not so keen on this, whatever this is, on here. It does make the wheel a bit slippery in the hand, so that's not so good, but there we go. Yes, electric windows all round, a PowerShot driver's window, and fog lights, and cruise control, and all kinds of things in here. So this is an SE specification car, so quite a few nice little things to play with in here, including, I think that's actually climate control. And we've got the information centre, which I am going to be sort of having a little play with, because that's the sort of thing I like to do. CD player and cassette player. Let's see if my secret mission documents actually end up in the glove box. Oh, look. Excellent. Right, let's open up the glove box. See if we can get my secret mission documents in. Right, here we go. No. What's wrong, viewers? Oh, it's this thing. The world's #1 selling hearing aid battery. Okay. Right, that's fine, viewers. Document test is passed. Excellent. Under here, we've also got some other interesting things. We just move these up away a second. We've got this. And we've got this. And this. It's like a crime scene in here, isn't it? Wow. Right, not what else. Not sure what else to say to you. Oh, that's not my equipment diver in here. Yeah, why don't we put these documents back in the glove box, and whilst we move into this rather nice beige leather driver's seat, we'll have a look around the rest of the controls in here. So you've got door bin. It's a bit bigger than one in my S40, which is obviously was a replacement for this generation, because there was also another S40 that's based on this car before the Mark II, but mine is. But not the biggest. It was a carpet down there. It's very old-fashioned, isn't it? I like it. We got the control for the light switch, I think is similar to one in the 850. But yeah, it's nice and comfortable in here. We've got a little cover there for the compartment, or that's on the way out, isn't it? Let's just not move that. Normal handbrake. And a little compartment for whatever you need. Cassettes, I think, 2001. Yeah, it feels nicely made and everything like that. So we don't have a sunroof, and the headliner is, well, interesting, but, well, if you're a gangster granny, do you really need a functioning headlining or not? Answer in the comments section, viewers. Right, yeah, so 5-speed automatic in this car. You can also get a Renault Source 5-speed manual. Let's go and sit in the back, though. Let's see what's in there. Right, viewers. We've got a little blanket. We've got crocheting going on here. Yeah, let's take a seat in here. Still got the nice beige leather seats in here, which is fine. Let's close that. Oh gosh, that's not good, is it, viewers? Never mind. We've got some little door bins in the back of here as well. I wonder if there's actually an armrest under here. Well, if there is, it is here, but I'll see if we can actually access this. Yeah, it's there. I have to move this whole thing off. Maybe I'll do that later. I don't know. But yeah, it's got plenty of room in here actually for a relatively small car. Though the legroom isn't the most I've ever seen, and also the headline's droopy on my head. But you know, there we go. Inflatable curtain airbags, excellent. Yeah, well, very practical for the family. I really should get a saloon version of this, the S40, at some point if I can, but you know, they don't necessarily come up all the time. I think we better look into boot as well, viewers. Obviously, this is a Volvo estate, so it's got to be practical, hasn't it? Okay. Oh yeah, we've got a heat shield ready so we don't set the crochet on fire. One thing I would say about this boot, I probably said this last time, but put that back in as well, viewers, is that the cell's quite high. I don't think you could get adjustable height boot floor in these cars, so that's a bit of a problem. Also got this strap in here, which is interesting. I presume that's for just keeping luggage in one side here. Lift up this carpet. Oh, we've got a space to have a spare in here. Hopefully we didn't have to use that on the charity rally. Yeah, it's not the biggest. The wheel arch intrusion is actually quite pronounced. I imagine, due to being based on the sort of Charisma or something like that, it's not the biggest boot. But I imagine if you were comparing this to, say, a 3 Series, like an E46, it would probably be a similar kind of size. Right, we've got the low blind in here as well. Does that actually work? Sort of. Yeah, sort of. I think we'll just put that back the way that it was. There we go. Right, let's put this plate back and we'll have to have a look under the bonnet. So, another example of Volvo's famous white block engine. It's not a 5-cylinder, it's not a 6-cylinder, it's a 4-cylinder in one of these, generating around 134 horsepower in this particular car. So, under bonnet mat looks a bit funny, but given the rest of the car's covered in fabric, it's in keeping, I suppose. These engines can be very dependable if you look after them. They do have a cam belt, which needs changing. I think it's about every 10 years or so. The thing that does happen with these sometimes is that they can be quite tappety. They've got hydraulic tappets, and on pretty low mileage ones, they can sound a little bit sort of, I don't know, like an engine we can't talk about on the channel. Apart from that, though, not much else to say. Unlike most Volvos, of course, this is based on a Mitsubishi platform, so the suspension of things are similar to the Proton or the Space Star or the Charisma. Not that it has much. Yeah, not much else to say really, although that dipstick looks very, very Volvo, doesn't it? Right, I suppose we had better go out for a little drive in our Gangsta Granny V40. So viewers, off we go in our Gangsta Granny inspired Volvo V40. So the engines available in the Mark 1 V40 were a 1.6 103 horsepower, later 108 horsepower, a 1.8 with first 115 horsepower, then 122 horsepower. There's also a completely different 1.8 available, which was sourced by Mitsubishi. It was a 1.8 gasoline direct injection engine, which is not compatible with the ultra emission zone. It's also not E10 compatible, so just watch that. The only way you can actually tell that apart from the normal four-cylinder white block like this one is just by looking at the engine capacity. It's an 1834cc for the Mitsubishi engine. Above that, a couple of 2-litre engines, first 136 horsepower, and then later on, for about 2000, like this one, 134 horsepower. There are also some turbo engines. Now, depending on the market and things like that, depending on the year, they are either badges of 1.9 or a 2-litre. The low pressure turbo generates either 158 or 165 horsepower, depending on the year. And then the crazy tyre burning T4 develops either 197 or 200 horsepower, depending on the year. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. The only thing about these V40 and S40 Mark 1 series is they are just not very memorable in any way to drive. I find it difficult to explain what it's like to drive this. It's nice and comfortable. After all, it's a Volvo. I'm a member of Volvo Owners Club, so maybe I'm biased in that respect. But there's just not much to say. The steering's a little bit on the light side. The ride it's okay. It's perfectly comfortable. But there's just not a lot of excitement to be had at all. Now, this car will do 0 to 60 in under 10 seconds, even with its automatic gearbox. I prefer to actually see what the Renault Source 5-speed manual is like as well, but it's just not an awful lot to say. I mean, it's a really perfect car for a charity rally. It tends to be quite dependable, and actually they don't rust as badly as a lot of the cars of the era. They obviously worked harder on rust protection than we did with the V440 and 460 that we preceded this with. But it's just not a lot to say. A Mark II S40 or a V50 or a C30 or a C70 Mark II, which followed these cars, would be just a little bit more kind of engaging to drive than this, which is, it's fine, but I find it difficult to sort of say anything really about it. It just feels like a very average car to drive. Obviously a T4 would be a little bit different, but yeah, the main thing is driving around in this, everybody looks at you because you're the only person with crochet all over your car. Oh, viewers, the things I do sometimes for YouTube. So the Mark 1 V40 was available initially in base, SE and CD versions, and then later on other trims became available like the S, the Sport Lux, the XI and XS. The base model and the S trim kind of varies when they're available. In 2004, all the interesting turbo engines were discontinued in favour of just the standard four-cylinder white blocks, and they were renamed Classic S, Classic SE, and Classic Sport. I think the one I drove last time was a Classic SE. They're built in Holland, Malaysia, Botswana, and Thailand for some reason. So, viewers, should you consider a Mark 1 V40 for your hard-earned budget up to £1,000? Well, maybe this one's not to everybody's taste. It's certainly not quite to my taste, but I appreciate the effort they went to making this suitable for the rally. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.